Nicole Kidman has just left Hollywood speechless after 19 years of marriage. She walked away from Keith Urban without asking for a single dollar. No support, no settlement, no strings attached. But this wasn't about love, revenge, or forgiveness, it was strategy. A quiet, deliberate move from one of the most powerful women in the industry. The truth didn't come through interviews or emotional statements, it came through a court filing, just a few pages of legal text that revealed more than any red carpet confession ever could. Those documents told a story far bigger than money or marriage, a story about strength, control, and the freedom that comes when you no longer depend on anyone financially, not even the person you've shared nearly 2 decades with. Forbes has named Nicole one of the highest paid actresses in the world, yet she chose to reject all spousal support from Keith Urban, and he did the same. No alimony, no shared assets, no monthly payments, just a clean, powerful break. And that single act has sparked one question across the world. Why would a woman walk away from millions she's legally entitled to? The answer lies in what her silence represents, not generosity, but mastery. Nicole Kidman turned her divorce into a statement of power, proving that independence isn't just financial, it's emotional. When she filed for divorce in late September, fans were stunned by how calm, confident, and calculated her decision seemed. This wasn't heartbreak, it was a blueprint. A lesson in how walking away without asking for anything can sometimes be the strongest move of all. Both Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban completely waived spousal support. Not a single dollar would move in either direction. The court filing made it crystal clear. No future payments from Nicole to Keith, no obligations from Keith to Nicole. Everything they built, everything they earned remained separate, as if 2 empires existed side by side under one roof, never truly blending. Nicole, already one of Hollywood's wealthiest icons, topped Forbes' list in 2024 as the highest paid actress in the world. Her decades-long career spans Oscar-winning performances, Emmy-winning series like Big Little Lies, and a lineup of production deals and brand endorsements that could rival any studio executive. Her estimated fortune now sits comfortably in the hundreds of millions. Keith Urban, on the other hand, isn't just a country singer. He's a global superstar with multiple Grammy Awards, platinum records, and a touring empire that fills arenas across continents. He's rich, respected, and legendary in his own right. But behind closed doors, their marriage carried an unspoken truth: money wasn't balanced, and neither was the power attached to it. What's fascinating is that in California, where Nicole filed for divorce, spousal support isn't simply based on income, it's built around the lifestyle a couple shared. After 19 years together, both could have easily argued for millions in ongoing support. Nicole could have claimed compensation for income gaps, Keith could have done the same. Yet neither did. They both walked away with nothing but their own success. And that kind of clean break doesn't happen by luck, it happens by design. The court documents quietly revealed something extraordinary. Throughout their entire marriage, Nicole and Keith kept their finances completely separate. Every asset, every deal, every dollar stayed in their own names. Nicole's film empire remained hers, and Keith's music catalog and touring profits stayed solely under his control. It wasn't just a divorce, it was the final step in a 19-year plan built on discipline, respect, and the kind of foresight few celebrity couples ever have. No joint accounts. No shared investments. No blurred financial lines. For a marriage that lasted nearly 2 decades, such clean separation is almost unheard of, and there's only one explanation for it. A rock-solid prenuptial agreement written long before the wedding vows were exchanged. When Nicole Kidman married Keith Urban in Sydney back in 2006, she wasn't just a glowing bride, she was one of Hollywood's most powerful figures. Already an Oscar winner, already a global icon, and already someone who had endured one of the most publicized divorces in entertainment. History: her split from Tom Cruise in 2001. That chapter left deep, emotional, and legal. Scars teaching her one unforgettable truth. Love can fade, but contracts endure. So when she said "I do" to Keith, she also said "I will protect myself." Their prenuptial agreement made one thing undeniable. What's hers stays hers, what's his stays his, and if it ever ends, they both walk away with what they built on their own. No court battles, no media-fueled war, just clarity. At the time, many dismissed it as a typical Hollywood precaution, but today that document stands as the cornerstone of one of the cleanest and most deliberate celebrity divorces in modern memory. The prenup shielded Nicole's empire from day one, giving her the confidence to waive spousal support when it all came to an end. Because the truth is, every detail had already been decided years earlier. There was nothing left to argue about, no assets to divide, no dependency to sever, no loose ends to untie. But beneath that legal precision lies something far more profound, a glimpse into how Nicole views love power and self-respect. She may have loved Keith with her whole heart, but she never allowed herself to rely on him completely, not emotionally, and certainly not financially. That kind of strength doesn't come naturally. It's learned often through pain, and Nicole learned it under the unforgiving glare of fame. Her divorce from Tom Cruise had taught her that protecting your heart sometimes means protecting your assets too. So she built her walls not out of distrust but out of wisdom, knowing that in Hollywood love may be grand, but security lasts longer. That prenuptial agreement wasn't born from distrust, it was born from survival. And nearly 2 decades later, that instinct proved to be Nicole Kidman's greatest protection. When the marriage came to an end, she didn't need to demand money or negotiate terms. Her freedom was already secured, written quietly into the fine print years earlier. But Nicole's choice to waive spousal support wasn't just a legal maneuver, it was a statement of power, control, and image. She has always been one of Hollywood's most meticulously managed figures, where every public appearance, every interview, and every headline is crafted with precision. By walking away without a cent, she controlled the story before anyone else could. No one could accuse her of marrying Keith Urban for wealth. No one could claim she profited from his success. Instead, she became the woman who left with nothing but dignity, the woman who didn't need a man or a settlement to define her worth. That wasn't just good lawyering, it was flawless image control. Because in Hollywood, reputation is a form of currency, and Nicole Kidman's has always been built on elegance, independence, and quiet resilience. The same woman who won an Oscar for The Hours, who rebuilt her career after her split from Tom Cruise, who became a global symbol of female strength and grace, that woman wasn't going to ask for support. She didn't need it, and she wanted the world to see that. But behind that polished surface, the court filings hinted at something deeper, a glimpse into how her financial independence shaped the very foundation of her marriage. For 19 years, Nicole and Keith shared a life, a family, and a home, but not a bank account. Their financial worlds stayed separate by design, reflecting not just legal caution, but emotional boundaries. It was a partnership built on respect yet maintained by distance. While Keith toured the world for months at a time, performing to sold-out crowds, Nicole lived between film sets, production meetings, and global premieres. Their paths rarely crossed for long, and though their love appeared strong in public, their lifestyles ran in parallel, never fully intertwining. Their money mirrored that same rhythm, separate, balanced, and quietly independent. Separate accounts, separate earnings, separate empires. When a couple keeps their finances divided, for nearly 2 decades, it usually means one of 2 things either. Both are fiercely independent or both quietly. Understand that what they've built together won't last forever. For Nicole Kidman, it might have been both. Her financial independence was more than strategy, it was survival. It was her way of ensuring she would never again feel trapped in a love that stopped serving her. So when the marriage began to crack under the strain of distance, careers, and exhaustion, she didn't hesitate. She didn't need to. She had already built the kind of freedom most people only dream of, the ability to walk away emotionally and financially without fear. That's the true power hidden in those court filings, not revenge, not rebellion, but liberation. Her decision to waive spousal support wasn't a loss, it was her victory. A statement to the world that Nicole Kidman is the empire, self-made, self-sustained, and unstoppable. And as the quiet details of that filing entered the public record, one thing became undeniable. Nicole didn't just end a marriage, she executed a 19-year plan to perfection. The media and fans began to connect the dots, realizing her decision wasn't just about independence, it was the final act of a long, deliberate journey that started long before she ever met Keith Urban. Because to truly understand why Nicole refused, the money you have to go back to the woman she became after Hollywood's most devastating heartbreak. In 2001, when her marriage to Tom Cruise collapsed, she wasn't just left heartbroken, she was blindsided, learning in real time how fragile love can be when fame and power collide. That divorce taught Nicole Kidman a lesson few ever forget, that in love, emotion can blur reality, but in Hollywood, money always exposes the truth. It reminded her that even when you fall deeply, you must protect yourself completely. And when you reach the top, you never depend on anyone else to keep you there. So when she met Keith Urban, a rising country star with charm, talent, and charisma, she didn't rush in blindly. She loved him, yes, but she also prepared. She drew boundaries, legal, emotional, and financial, not out of coldness, but wisdom. Nicole Kidman didn't walk into her second marriage naive or vulnerable. She entered it knowing exactly what she stood to lose, and exactly how to make sure she never lost herself again. And that's what makes this story so extraordinary. 19 years later, the same walls that once seemed cautious became her shield. The same boundaries that some might have called calculated turned out to be her greatest strength. When the marriage ended in 2025, those safeguards allowed her to walk away with her dignity and independence untouched. The court filings revealed something almost unheard of in celebrity separations: mutual respect and strategic precision. No monthly payments. No property disputes. No courtroom chaos. This wasn't a reaction to heartbreak, it was the fulfillment of a plan built on clarity and foresight. But let's be clear, this wasn't an even playing field. Nicole Kidman was the powerhouse. She had built an empire far beyond acting, anchored by her own production company, Blossom Films, which gave her complete creative and financial control over her projects. From Big Little Lies to 9 Perfect Strangers, her influence stretched across screens and studios. She wasn't just starring in Hollywood's biggest stories, she was producing them. She wasn't an employee anymore. She was the executive, the architect, the boss. And with that power came something even greater: the freedom to walk away from anyone, anytime, without losing herself or the empire she built. She didn't need a fight or a courtroom spectacle to prove her worth, because Nicole Kidman's success spoke louder than any settlement ever could. Her career was self-fueled, her name alone generating millions through films, brand endorsements, and high-profile collaborations. While most actresses slow down in their late 50s, Nicole was rewriting the rulebook, proving that power, not age, defines relevance. On the other hand, Keith Urban continued to thrive on stage, selling out arenas across continents, but his trajectory was steady, not soaring. His fame was strong, yet Nicole's influence had evolved into something far greater: an empire. The imbalance never caused friction, while love held them together, thanks to a crystal-clear prenup that separated their finances from the start. But as their marriage began to fade, that same financial independence reflected the emotional distance that had quietly grown between them. Two powerful lives, parallel yet rarely crossing. She lived in scripts and studios, he lived in guitars and crowds. For 19 years, they moved in sync, only occasionally bound more by respect than routine. So when the end came, it was quiet. No accusations, no chaos, just signatures and silence. But behind that silence was strategy. Nicole's refusal to demand spousal support wasn't about pride, it was about power. It was a declaration that she owed nothing and needed nothing. By walking away clean, she kept total control. No legal ties, no lingering obligations, no emotional residue. Just freedom, pure, unshackled, and deliberate. In a city where divorces turn into public wars, Nicole Kidman turned hers into a masterclass in dignity. She didn't just end a marriage, she ended a chapter on her own terms, reminding Hollywood that the greatest luxury of all isn't wealth. It's the freedom to walk away untouched. And in her case, that price meant walking away from something she never truly needed: his money. But this decision wasn't just financial, it was image-driven, calculated with the same precision she applies to her career. Nicole Kidman has always controlled her public narrative with near-perfect discipline. No messy online confessions, no emotional breakdowns in interviews, just pure professionalism. Her silence has always spoken louder than words. And by handling this divorce with grace and composure, she reinforced the very brand she's built over decades: poised, powerful, and untouchable. Refusing spousal support didn't just free her, it protected Keith Urban too. It flipped the usual Hollywood story on its head. Instead of headlines saying she took him for everything, she gave him back his dignity. That's not softness, that's strategic dominance. Because in Hollywood, the ultimate flex isn't taking someone's fortune. It's proving you never needed it. Behind closed doors, this move was as pragmatic as it was personal. Nicole didn't need a payout, and Keith couldn't afford a messy media war. Their quiet agreement worked for both, but it immortalized her as a woman who plays chess while others play checkers. She didn't walk away as a victim, she walked away as a visionary. And the real revelation buried in those court filings wasn't about wealth, it was about independence. Nicole may have given up spousal support, but she gained something far more precious: time. According to court documents, she was granted primary custody of their daughters, Sunday Rose and Faith Margaret, 306 days a year with their mother, just 59 with their father. That's an 83-7 split, a statistic that doesn't just show legal victory, it shows presence. It reveals who was truly there, who built the home, who carried the emotional weight. And make no mistake, that wasn't coincidence. It was clarity, decades in the making. This was strategy disguised as grace. Nicole Kidman didn't just sign a divorce agreement, she orchestrated it like a master negotiator. She traded financial claims for parental control, choosing motherhood over money with the kind of precision only experience teaches. Keith Urban, often on tour for months at a time, agreed to a deal that fit both their realities. He prepaid his child support in one lump sum, a rare move in Hollywood, cutting off any future financial ties and ensuring he could continue his music career without distractions. Meanwhile, Nicole secured what truly mattered: stability for her daughters, Sunday Rose and Faith Margaret. To the public, it looked peaceful. To legal experts, it looked brilliantly calculated, and they're both right. Nicole has always said that motherhood grounded her, gave her purpose, and reshaped her definition of success. Through this divorce, she protected that purpose fiercely. She didn't need his money, but she wanted her daughter's presence, and that's what she fought for. It was a trade only a powerful woman could make. Money for control, finances, for family support, for peace of mind. Every move revealed how deeply she understood her leverage. Her wealth gave her freedom. Her career gave her power. Her past taught her never to negotiate from emotion but from position. After 19 years of partnership, she had mastered the art of calm separation. No drama, no public feud, no chaos, just a clean, quiet exit designed on her own terms. When she waived spousal support, it wasn't surrender. It was strategy. It was her final declaration of independence, freedom from dependency, from legal entanglements, and from the noise that follows most celebrity divorces. For Nicole Kidman, this wasn't just an ending. It was evolution, a woman reclaiming her story, her time, and her total control. Over. What we've witnessed isn't just another Hollywood breakup, it's a masterclass in control strategy and survival. Nicole Kidman didn't just leave a marriage, she left a message for every woman watching. Build yourself so strong that walking away never feels like loss. No court battles. No lingering ties. No public humiliation. Just quiet power. Her decision wasn't born from bitterness, but from clarity, the understanding that freedom isn't granted, it's earned. Keith Urban, for all his charm and talent, became part of a story that was always destined to be written by Nicole's pen. He'll go back to his music, his tours, his spotlight, but the chapter they shared has officially closed. And as their paths diverge, one thing becomes undeniable. Nicole didn't just survive Hollywood, she mastered it. Her divorce wasn't a downfall, it was a declaration. Proof that in a world built on contracts and cameras, the real power belongs to the one who can walk away without needing anything at all. Because in Hollywood, where love stories are scripted and endings are sold, Nicole Kidman just gave the world something rarer: authenticity. The freedom to say I'm enough. Please subscribe my channel for more unique and attractive videos.